I know for me, when I first started writing and when I first started putting my writing out there, all I could hear were the negative voices, the negative comments. And I said to someone, what if no one likes what I have to say? And what she said back really changed everything for me. She said, what if it really helps people, Polly? And this was what gave me the courage to start putting my writing out there, start speaking my truth. Not respecting ourselves, not valuing ourselves, undermining ourselves, overgiving and undervaluing, people pleasing, giving until our cups are completely empty, and then wondering why we're completely drained and feeling like we're not contributing to life at the level and at the potential that we really know that we can. So what I wanted to share today was the 5 steps into self-love and out of self-sabotage. It's also become the foundation of what I teach in my online program. So the first step is really about our frequency. And so if you don't know about energy, or if you don't know about frequency, basically what it is everything is energy. So we are energy, trees are energy, the ocean is energy, everything around us, even this couch is energy. Everything carries an energetic vibration, and everything is resonating at a certain frequency. And what I realized and what I started to do for my own self was to realize how I felt after I did certain things. So without judgment or without shooting on myself, I just would realize, oh, you know what? When I talked to that one person, after the conversation, I really didn't feel very good. Or, you know, I watched that movie and after I watched it, I didn't really feel very good. And without putting any restrictions on any behavior, it was more like this scientific approach. Like, oh, when I do that, when I talk to this person, when I eat that food, etc., I don't feel very good. And so what I started to do was then choose something else. Choose a different action that I thought would feel better. Get outside. Then I would do that and I would notice, oh my gosh, like suddenly I went from feeling way down here to feeling alive, feeling refreshed and feeling really good. So the first thing that I started to really notice was, okay, like all of this stuff really affects me. And if I can figure out a way to keep my frequency and my vibration as high as possible every day, well, for one thing, I'm just going to be a better human in the world. That's going to radiate outwards. It's not just affecting me, it's also affecting everyone that I come into contact with. So I really started to dive into this and did literally a lot of time bathing in the Ganges River, a lot of time surfing in the ocean and being in water, which really helps clear low frequency energy and really helps us to step into feeling a lot more clear, a lot more clean, a lot more happy, and a lot more alive. That was the direction I first started in, and also changing habits and developing practices that supported keeping this frequency high. So like yoga, breath work, meditation, time in nature, and journaling is the routine that I gravitated towards. So I've been doing this for almost 12 years now, and I still do this every day. When I don't do it, I feel the difference, and I can feel like my light starts to dim and that I don't feel as high frequency. I don't feel like I have as much to offer. I don't feel as alive. So this idea of frequency is super important. And what I've learned over time is how to clear energy, how to release energy cords, how to forgive other people, how to, and myself, how to release ancestral karma and trauma. That is the foundation, like the beginning of this journey is basically a big, huge clear out of energy. And then once we do that, it really honestly feels like, for me, it felt like this whole blanket of guilt just got lifted off of my back. And like a whole person just got lifted out of my body. And then what I do and what I teach is to call all our energy back into our bodies and make sure that all of the pieces of ourselves that have fragmented out of our bodies from absorbing other people's energy, from carrying the responsibility of other people, from carrying the ancestral drama and trauma. What happens is our essence, our soul fractures out. Also, that happens during times of trauma. We tend to disassociate from our body. And what that means is we actually leave our bodies. Also, if you've been under the influence of alcohol and been in a blackout, basically you're not home. Our souls, our spirits actually leave our bodies in blackouts, which is why a lot of times people will be like, you're like Jekyll and Hyde. Like when you're drinking, you're a different person. And why that is because our soul, our spirit is not there, and it leaves our bodies really open and available for other energies to speak through us. So the first step is to get all of this energy out of our bodies so that we can call all our energy back in. The voices in our head also carry an energetic frequency. And I know for my own self, I had a good voice and a bad voice. For a lot of my life, it felt like the dark wolf was the stronger voice, or you can call it the voice of addiction. It's the voice that nudges us in the direction of self-sabotage. Whatever that voice is encouraging us to do that is actually against what we know is for our highest good, that's the dark voice. And then the light voice is the one that encourages us to go outside for a walk, encourages us to say no when we really want to. It encourages us to take care of ourselves and go to sleep early. It encourages us to do our yoga practice. It encourages us to be kind and compassionate and loving to ourselves. So the next step after we get our energy clear and call our energy back into our bodies is to really start noticing how we're speaking to ourselves. And are we being loving? Are we being kind? Are we being compassionate? Or are we being super harsh, judgmental, and toxic to ourselves? What I started doing and what I encourage my clients to do and you to do is to start speaking to yourself like you would speak to a young child. And just say, I'm so proud of you. You did so well today. Great job. It feels really kind of weird at first, but to have that loving, kind, and compassionate voice just become the normal voice in our heads is so awesome. So when the voice in our heads becomes kind and compassionate and loving to ourselves, then we tend to take actions that are in alignment with that voice. Start being aware of your inner voices. Is it kind or is it super harsh? If it is super harsh, what I encourage is to take note of that voice and invite in something different. Having this bird's eye perspective of your voices is really super helpful, because then you realize, oh, I can choose not to listen to that voice. I can choose to say something else to myself that is a lot more kind. Because when we're kind and loving to ourselves, guess what? It means we can be kind and loving to others. It means we start to value ourselves. It means we start to respect ourselves. It means that we start having more financial abundance. It means we are open to receiving rather than giving and feeling drained all the time. So what I've really found is this is pretty much the most important thing in our self-discovery journey, is clicking into self-love. When we do this, we're able to then really speak from a place of authenticity. We're able to really show up and offer our creative expression. What I really feel is that we're all here to share our unique gifts with the world. And so if we're constantly criticizing ourselves and keeping ourselves small and hidden, not really doing what we're here for. Learning how to love ourselves allows us to speak our authentic truth and feel a lot more confident in doing that. And it just feels a lot better being alive on the planet coming from this place. It feels a lot more peaceful, it feels a lot more aligned, and it feels a lot more balanced. If you are interested in exploring self-love and self-acceptance and overcoming self-sabotage more, I would love to hop on a call with you and find out where you are right now, where you want to go, and if I can help you to get there. Namaste, and we'll see you in the next video.